Dr. Anita McLaughlin, a transformational counselor, mentor, chaplain, author, and entrepreneur, and you have just entered a diamond moment. Diamonds are produced through time, heat, and pressure. The cut, clarity, and size of the raw diamond determine its use. The use of the stone adds to its value. Life's diamonds are produced, processed, and valued the same way. This is the place to unlock and process the challenges of your life. Ascribe value, determine worth, and put these valuable lessons to work so that you can fulfill your destiny. If you've been with me for a while, then you know the purpose of this podcast is to be able to challenge our limiting beliefs, challenge those ideas that have held us back and have stopped us from achieving our highest and best good for our lives. Sometimes the things that we've dealt with have been input from people in the past. At other times, it's just been areas in our lives that have made us feel incompetent to be able to do what we want to do. And I wanted podcast in real time. Then we are in the holiday season. In the United States, we consider the holiday season the period between Thanksgiving in November and the New Year, January 1st. And in my various travels and interactions with people, I found out that everyone doesn't have a positive viewpoint for holidays. There are some people who find holidays to be extremely painful. They don't enjoy anything about it. Where we start out the holiday season with family dinners and being around those that we value and love, there are others who feel exactly the opposite regarding family dinners and those that we love. Sometimes the holiday season, people experience variations in their mood. Sometimes it has to do with the weather. It's rainy. Sometimes people don't enjoy rain. It may be gloomy feeling for them. We know that in the United States, many places have a change in the time, so it gets dark earlier. And for various reasons, people just feel depressed. They're saddened during the holiday season. I know that many people have experienced loss during the holiday season. They have memories of loved ones that were so dear that are no longer here, and those things are painful for them. I met a person who a few days or so before Christmas lost his wife in an automobile accident, and he has never been able to overcome the trauma of that experience. Many times those who have loved ones that may have been in the military or are recently gone or deceased are unable to celebrate with joy the holiday season. I know some that are close to me that are experiencing the first Thanksgiving, the first Christmas without those that they love. And so I do realize that this season is difficult for some. I always have expressed the fact that just because you or I may not feel the same way about any particular issue, it doesn't mean that that is not extremely valid, that it is real for those who do. And so I don't in any way want to minimize their feelings. I don't want to look at this like, oh, just snap out of it. You can do better than that. We know that that is not the way that life works. But in this podcast, I do want to address maybe some things to consider. You know, no one can make or force anyone to do anything, but what they can do is maybe to offer some ideas that might be helpful. If they are, then great. If they're not, then again, count it to my head and not my heart, because it is truly not my desire to cause anyone undue pain. But, and you know that word but says it cancels out everything that came before it. But we are here to challenge limiting beliefs. We are here to change our lives for the better. We are here to take what had been difficult and turn it into something that is very valuable. What I've learned throughout my journey is that the things that I've overcome are things that may benefit someone else. It's kind of like they say that if one person writes a letter or responds or sends an email to something, 7 other people had the same thought. They just didn't go through the effort to send the message. So it's to understand that what I'm saying and what I'm going to say, there may be other people that have experienced this. If it's not you, then just don't receive it. You know, they say eat the meat, spit out the bones. So if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it is for you, then I want to challenge you on something. I want to help you resolve some of the things that are painful to you, particularly in this season of the year. And I truly hope that this will be something that you can think about, you can meditate on, and that may be beneficial to help you begin the process of moving forward from a place in which you may have been stuck for years and years and years. There's a scripture, you know me in the scripture, and it says that all their lives they were subject again to bondage through the fear of death. Why did you bring that up, Dr. Anita? Because for some, depression and that depressed mood state is like a bondage. They're bound to it. They know that at this time next year, they're going to be sad, they're going to be gloomy, they're going to have heartache. They already know because this has been their pattern and they anticipate that this will be their pattern. So I wanted to bring up that particular concept of being subject to something that's holding you in a painful place. Because let's think about it. That's what the illustration of bondage is. You see people with shackles on their hands and their feet, and they're unable to go free. And that is what bondage is. But in this particular place, it says they were subject to that position because of the fear of death. Okay? We talked in other episodes about that word fear. Whether the word fear means cringing and scared and, ooh, I'm afraid, or whether it means respect. And in this regard, because it relates back to bondage, I am addressing it in terms of being fearful. What are we fearful of? The things that we don't know the outcome. We don't know what happens. What happens when I die? What happens when my life force no longer inhabits this clay form that I live in? And while we don't have a definitive answer, because up to this point, there are those that profess to have died and come back, and I'm not going to negate their experience, but I, as a human being, would have to discuss it from this perspective. This is what I believe. This is what I'm going to tell you what I believe. I've talked to you a lot about the ways that different people think about the concepts of life. Who is God, Spirit, the Creator, what that life force is. We've talked before about the fact that when we see people who have passed away, that you can tell that person that you knew is no longer inhabiting that which you're seeing laying there. We know that is something changed that moved the one that we love from one dimension to another. And what I want to bring out is the fact that many belief systems say that we are eternal beings, that we don't stop when our clay form falls away, that we do not stop, we continue. Many times you hear about scriptures that relate to loved ones, a great crowd of witnesses that are cheering us on, loved ones that are still rooting for our success, cheering us on. There are cultures who talk about the ancestors, and they feel as though their ancestor that they have a connection, and that ancestor is there to help them through and to get them the help that they need. And so we have a culture, many cultures, who believe that who we are eternal beings, that we don't stop. So I want to move this over and position it in a place to talk about those that you love, those that you may miss, and to realize that, as they say, they've gone to a better place, that those kind of statements that seem sometimes to be trite, but if they as a spiritual being are now reconnected to the being that created them, while we may miss them, would we want them to return? That's one thought. Another concept, another piece to this is to remember what they left with us. I've talked to you about friends, the legacy that some have played, the roles that they've played. If you haven't listened to the legacy episode, then go back and listen to it. The roles that people played in life, the way that their having been there changed their loved one, and that possibly the role that they came into your life to play had been completed. They've completed their assignment. They've done what they needed to do, and that time is completed. So I want us to look at things a little differently. I want us to look at things in terms of where you are going, what you've needed, and that loved one had the same option. They had completed their assignment. Stay with me. We're going to continue this conversation in the next episode. Thank you for listening, and join me next time as we redefine the previous steps of your process. Never forget, becoming is a process. A process has stages. One small change changes everything. So invest in yourself. Please visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com for links and additional information. And please rate the podcast if you're enjoying it.